Hey, I'm Bludgeon, and today I'm going to teach you how to play Lords of Waterdeep, a modern classic of a worker placement game designed by Peter Lee and Rodney Thompson. This is a Dungeons & Dragons game kind of inverse. So normally in Dungeons & Dragons, you're an adventurer in a party of adventurers, and you're going around finding people to give you quests so you can go out and complete those quests. But in Lords of Waterdeep, you are the quest giver. You are one of the Lords of Waterdeep who has to find adventurers to do things for you. Today, I'm going to show you how to play this game by playing through the digital version of the game on Steam. The Steam version is made by Playdeck. The physical version is published by Renegade Games. This will help you learn to play whether you're playing in person on the table or in the digital game. After I play through a game, I'm going to introduce the expansions to you. They're not a big deal, so I'm not playing through the whole thing, but I'll just show you kind of what they add to the game, and you can see if they're interesting to you or not. If you like this kind of thing, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot of tutorials for a lot of different digital board games, including Dune Imperium, Clank, Root, Wingspan, Spirit Island, Ark Nova, and more. You can watch me play Dune Imperium live on Twitch, twitch.tv/bludgeon, Sundays, 9 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube and Twitch. All right, with that, let's get straight into the game. Okay, here we are in the magical city of Waterdeep. Now, as players, we are each a Lord of Waterdeep, trying to keep this city running and keep things running smoothly, and of course, maybe enrich ourselves or acquire power in the process. In a city like this, a lot of things need to be done, but you know, I'm a lord. I'm not going to do these things myself. So my job is to go out and find the people who are willing to complete these quests for me, thus giving me prestige and influence. So there are quest cards that every player is going to be dealt. So everyone starts with 2 random quest cards. Let's take a look at that. So I start with this Arcana quest, which is called Infiltrate Hallister's Circle. To accomplish this, I'm going to need 5 wizards. So I'm going to need a party of 5 wizards, and I'm going to have to send them out with 2 gold. And if I do that, then they're going to go and infiltrate Hallister's Circle for me, and I'm going to get 25 victory points. So like many games, this is a competition for victory points. At the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins. All right, so how do I get wizards? Well, at the start of the game here, I don't have any wizards. So if we look at the left, this is my tavern. This is where all the adventurers that I've recruited are going to hang out until I send them out to complete a quest. So there are clerics, fighters, rogues, and wizards, and currently I have 0. I do have 4 gold to start with, but that's it. So if I ever want to, get this quest completed, I'm going to need to get 5 wizards. So your adventurers come from the different cities in Waterdeep. So if we take a look here, wizards come from Blackstaff Tower right here. So this is a worker placement game. Everybody has 2 agents that they're going to send to different spaces on the board to accomplish different things. So if I want to recruit a wizard to my tavern, then I could take one of my agents, send it to Blackstaff Tower, and boom, I have recruited 1 wizard. And that would be the end of my turn. If I press this button over here, that's it, I'm done. It goes on to the next player. They would send an agent and so on until it gets back to me. I would then send my second agent somewhere else. And once everyone's agents are sent, that's the end of the round. We move on to the next round. This is a game that happens in 8 rounds. So at the end of the 8th round, whoever has the most points wins. Okay, now I'm not going to send my wizard out or my agent out just yet because I want to talk about the rest of the spaces. So Blackstaff Tower will recruit a wizard. If you happen to need fighters, then you send an agent to the Field of Triumph. That recruits 2 fighters for you. If you happen to need rogues, you can send an agent to the Grinning Lion Tavern over here. That'll get you a couple rogues. So I'm undoing my turns here. And if you need a cleric, then you send an agent to the Plinth and you get a cleric. Okay, so notice that fighters and rogues are more plentiful. Wizards and clerics are a little bit more rare because, it takes a more special kind of person with more extensive training to become a wizard or a cleric, presumably. All right, now what about gold? Maybe you need some gold because some quests require you to have gold, like my Infiltrate Hallister's Circle here requires gold. And if you need that, then you can send an agent to Aurora's Realms shop and you get some gold. All right, let's look at the other places on the board. So these are, I mean, those ones I just talked about, these 5 spots, they're kind of the basic spots for just acquiring adventurers or money. But let's look up at the Cliff Watch Inn up here. So like I said, everybody starts with 2 quests, but you're going to need more than that to win the game. You know, the quests you start with are random. So the quests you get at the start of the game might not even be quests you even necessarily want to complete because they might not fit your agenda. They might be too difficult. So there are more quests you can get here from Cliff Watch Inns. There are 4 quests that are randomly dealt from a deck of quests. And if I want, I can pick one of these quests by sending an agent to the Cliff Watch Inn. So for example, if I send an agent to this spot, then it's going to get me 2 gold, and I can choose one of these 4 quests to take and then try to complete. So for example, maybe I decide to take this quest here. I would just take it, and now it's part of my quest that I'm trying to complete. And if I were to confirm this, then a new random quest would be dealt to fill that spot, and I would get 2 gold. Okay, but I'm not going to confirm it right now. But there are 3 spots here, and each of them is going to give you a quest, but they're going to do it in a little bit of a different way. So this one, you get 2 gold in a quest. If I go to this spot, then again, I pick one of these 4 quests, and it's also going to give me an intrigue card, which I'll talk about in a moment. This last spot here, maybe I don't like any of these quests. Well, if I go here, then this is going to reset the quest. So those 4 quests are going to just be discarded, and then 4 new ones are going to be dealt here, and then I choose from those. So it's possible that I won't like those either, but it gives me a chance to kind of see some fresh stuff. Or maybe I know one of my opponents was really eyeing one of those quests, and I just want to take it off the board without taking it myself. So that's another way to do that. Again, if I were to confirm it, then that would fill in, but I'm not going to. All right. Now, let's talk about intrigue cards for a second. So this one gives you an intrigue card. What are intrigue cards? Well, at the start of the game, each player is also dealt 2 intrigue cards, and these are cards that are going to give you some kind of minor special effect. It could be getting resources, it'd be getting some kind of adventurer, it could be messing with your opponents in some way. So let's take a look at the couple intrigue cards I got. All right, here's a mandatory quest. This is going to mess up somebody else. Stamp out cultists. Give this mandatory quest to an opponent. That opponent cannot complete any non-mandatory quests until this quest is completed. So basically, if I play this card, it means I'm giving this quest to somebody else, and they can't do any of their normal quests until they finish this one. So they would have to spend a cleric, a fighter, and a rogue, and get 2 points, which is pretty measly, just to get this out of the way so they can then get on with whatever they were planning to do anyway. This one is a way to get other quests for myself. So special assignment here, I choose a quest type: Arcana, Commerce, Piety, Skullduggery, or Warfare. And then I draw quests from the deck until I find one of that type, and I keep that quest. So there are those different types of quests, and they mostly matter in terms of your... you might have a lord, for example, that cares about what kind of quests you get. So, for example, I said we're all a Lord of Waterdeep, but the Lords of Waterdeep are very secretive. They don't want people to know who they are. So we are each masked Lords of Waterdeep. So for me, for example, I am Kiriani Agravar, and at the end of the game, I score 4 points for each Arcana quest and each Piety quest that I have completed. So basically, this is what your Lord does. So each player is going to be dealt a random card from the Lord's deck at the start of the game. No one else will know who they are until the end of the game, but basically it's just going to give you extra points for particular kinds of quests most of the time, or other kind of goals like that. So for me, I'm incentivized to find Arcana and Piety quests because they're worth 4 extra points, which is a pretty big deal. So I do have an Arcana quest already, which is good for me. However, 5 wizards is tough when you can only get 1 at a time from the Blackstaff Tower. So that might be a reason I might want to go here, reset the quest, and find something a bit better. So to play an intrigue card, you need to send an agent to Waterdeep Harbor right here. So I would send an agent here, and I would choose an intrigue card that I want to play, and then it would get played, and then it goes to the next person's turn. But what's interesting about Waterdeep Harbor is that once everyone's agents have been sent out to the board, any agents sitting on Waterdeep Harbor will go back and that player can then send them out again to a different spot. So you're going to essentially get a free action out of Waterdeep Harbor. So playing an intrigue card in a way doesn't cost you an agent. It just costs you an agent temporarily. The downside of it, of course, is that you have to wait until all the other agents are sent before you can reclaim your Waterdeep Harbor agent and send it somewhere. And so by the time that happens, you know, the spots might be mostly full, or the spot that you would want to go to is kind of full. And so that's the cost of going there. And the later you send your agent to Waterdeep Harbor, the later you're going to go. So there's 3 spots here. Whoever is in the first position is going to be the first one to take their agent back and send it out. Whoever's in the second spot is going to go after that, and so on. So if you're the third one there, you might have basically nowhere to go. All right, so that's Waterdeep Harbor, and that's how intrigue cards work. So you can only play them by going here for the most part. And then you get new ones by either going to Cliffwatch Inn, which will get you a quest and an intrigue card, or by going to Castle Waterdeep, which will get you an intrigue card and give you the first player marker, which just determines who goes first at the start of the next round. So I have it right now to start the game, which means I'm going first. And if nobody else takes it from me, I'll just keep it every round and go first every single round. So somebody eventually might decide, you know what, I want to go first next round. So they have to go to Castle Waterdeep to do that. Or I might go there myself to stop somebody else from taking it from me. All right, and the last space on the board to talk about here is the Builder's Hall. So like this isn't a lot of spaces here on the board, right? And once we get to round 5, everyone's actually going to get a third agent. And so at that point, like the board is going to really fill up. So the Builder's Hall is the solution to that problem. So here is a way to actually add new spaces to the board. So if I send an agent to the Builder's Hall, then what I can do is I can purchase one of these buildings here and put it on the board for the rest of the game. So the cost is gold at the top left here. Helmstar Warehouse costs 3 gold, House of Wonder costs 4, and the Tower of Luck costs 8, which I don't have, which is why these 2 are highlighted. So if I were to do this, I would, put this onto the board, and for the rest of the game, that's a space that anybody could send an agent to. And if we look at it, typically these are much better than the basic spots, because this spot gives you 2 rogues and 2 gold, whereas the Grinning Lion Tavern just gives you 2 rogues. So this is obviously better. And somebody say, well, why should I be the one to pay for it when anyone can use it? There's 2 reasons. Number 1 is, if you look at the bottom here, there's an owner benefit. What this means is anytime anybody else sends an agent to this spot, I get this benefit. So if I go to the spot, I don't get the benefit. But if somebody else goes there, I do. So in this case, if somebody else goes here, I get 1 rogue to my tavern. If I own the House of Wonder and somebody goes to it, I get 2 gold. If I own the Tower of Luck and somebody else goes to it, I get either a cleric or a rogue. So that's one of the benefits, is you're going to be kind of getting passive bonuses when somebody else uses the spot, or you use the spot yourself. And like I said, it's a good spot. The other benefit is the bottom right here, which is victory points. So if I build this Helmstar Warehouse, I immediately get 1 victory point, and the same goes for these other 2. You're gonna say, well, 1 point isn't that much, especially when you got to pay 8 gold in the case of the Tower of Luck, which is true. But what happens is every round that the building sits there in the Builder's Hall, it gets more valuable. So at round 2, if these are still here, they'll each be worth 2 victory points. In round 3, any that are still there will be worth 3, and so on. So they just keep ticking up until somebody finally decides it's worth their while to buy it. Okay, so those are all the spots in the game. That's basically the game. So we'll start playing it here. All right, so let's take a look at my quest to decide what I should be doing. So once again, I'm looking for, let's take a look at my Lord. I'm looking for Arcana and Piety quests, ideally. But like I said, this Arcana quest it's good, but it's going to take me forever to actually collect 5 wizards the normal way. So I'm not too keen on trying to do that yet. Let's look at my other quest. Okay, this is a commerce quest, which is not particularly great for me. It requires 2 clerics, 2 rogues, 4 gold. The reward is 10 victory points, and draw 1 building from the stack and put it into play under your control at no cost. So the stack means not these 3 that are here in the hall, but this stack of 21 buildings that's sitting there. So I don't know what it is. I would just take the first one off the stack, put it into play, and that's now my building, which is pretty good. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's probably going to give me, you know, some kind of passive benefit. So that's cool. So this wouldn't be a bad one to get done soon, because the longer a building is in play, the more kind of passive benefit I can get out of it. And it's not totally crazy. You know, I could get the 2 rogues from 1 visit here, and it might take me a couple rounds to get the clerics. But you know, what I think I'm going to do is I want to use this intrigue card here. This one that gets me a quest of my, you know, the chosen type. So I'm going to send one of my agents to Waterdeep Harbor, and I'm going to play this special assignment. And what do I need again? Piety or Arcana. All right. There's one bad thing about the UI here is it doesn't tell you what these are, but this is Skullduggery, Commerce, Piety, or that's Arcana. That's Commerce. That's Piety, that's Skullduggery, and that's Warfare. Let me go with Piety here. Let's see what we get. Oh, this is a pretty nice one to get early. Okay, so let's take a look at this quest I just got. So you can see now I have 3 quests. Defend the Tower of Luck. This takes 2 clerics, 1 rogue, 1 fighter, and 1 wizard. So it's a lot of stuff. Let's look at the reward. 0 points, which is not good. But then I get an adventure of my choice, which is still not great considering it took me 5 to do this. But check this out. This is a plot quest. Plot quests not only give you some reward immediately, but they're going to give you a reward for the rest of the game in some way, some kind of persistent bonus. So this one says, at the start of each round, take an adventure of your choice from the supply and place it in your tavern. This is really nice because it means at the beginning of every round, I can just take whatever I happen to need most and just take it. If I need wizards, this can generate them. So this might help me with my wizard problem. All right, so that's definitely what I want, but that's it. My turn is over. I sent my agent here. I played my intrigue card. I'm done. The other players will now take their turns. All right, somebody took a quest from the tavern. Somebody took some money, and somebody else is playing an intrigue card, which is an attack. Each opponent removes a rogue from his or her tavern. Let's take a look at what that was. And returns it to the supply. So just some rogues are being killed. I didn't have any rogues though, so I didn't lose anything. For each opponent that could not do so, take 2 gold from the supply. So that person basically just generated some money there because I don't think anybody had any rogues. All right, and now it's back to me. All right. So what do I need for this quest? I need clerics, a wizard, a fighter, and a rogue. So it's going to take me a while to get all that stuff together. So let me just go ahead and I'll take a cleric here. Well, you know what? The other thing I could do, I could build this House of Wonder, and then there's a new spot on the board that generates that stuff. So you know what? I'm going to try that. Let's build this House of Wonder. Now somebody else is, you know, going to visit that because there's still agents left out on the board. So I'm not going to get it this round, but it will generate me some money for the rest of the game. And when I do have a chance, it'll be nice for me to visit it. So there's a new building going into the Builder's Hall. Sure enough, someone immediately goes to the House of Wonder. Okay, so Waterdeep Harbor. Oh, nice. Somebody just gifted me a cleric. That's amazing. So, yeah, so somebody just played an intrigue here, Good Faith, where that player got 2 clerics, but then they have to choose somebody else who also gets a cleric, and they happen to choose me. So I got a free cleric out of that, which is great. Somebody did go to House of Wonder, and this one, just to be clear, what this does is you pay 2 gold, and then you take 2 adventurers, any combination of clerics and wizards. You could take a cleric and a wizard, or 2 clerics or 2 wizards. So somebody did that, and because I'm the owner of this, I got 2 gold here. So it's already kind of paying itself back, which is nice. So what's happening now is everyone has sent their agents out, and I have now gotten my agent back from Waterdeep Harbor, and I can send it somewhere on the board. So I think I'm going to go pick up a wizard, because I need that for... Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to plan to go to the House of Wonder next round, because nobody took the first player thing from me. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up some fighter. Actually, I'm going to pick up some rogues here. Okay. So I still don't have enough to complete any of these quests. So that's it. This person's going to send their agent out from Waterdeep Harbor. And they chose to reset quest, pick something up. Oh no! Oh no! So the last agent from Waterdeep Harbor ended up going to Castle Waterdeep, taking the first player token. So I'm not the first player anymore. Okay, but everyone's going back to Waterdeep Harbor again. So it looks like I am going to get my shot at House of Wonder. Which is great. So the 2 gold that I got from it is going to help me use it this round. So I'm going to send my agent here. We'll go to House of Wonder. I'm going to pay the 2 gold here. And I'm going to take 1 cleric and 1 wizard. And so all I'm missing now is 1 fighter for this quest, which hopefully I'll be able to get from Field of Triumph here. Okay, I just got some more money somehow. Wow, this person is already building the Tower of Luck. Okay, perfect. So I've got a few interesting options here. I think I'm just going to go to Field of Triumph so I can complete this quest. But it is tempting to go to the Tower of Luck here, because that's a really nice spot. You get a cleric and 2 rogues. But I want to get this quest done as soon as possible so I can start collecting adventures off it. So we're going to go to Field of Triumph, collect 2 fighters. And now you can see this quest is highlighted because I have everything I need. I've got 2 clerics, a fighter, a rogue, and a wizard. And so now I can complete that quest. Basically, you can complete 1 quest per turn if you have the correct requirements. So we're going to do that. I pay my cost in adventures, and now my reward is 0 points plus a unit of my choice, or an adventure of my choice. So I know I need wizards for this Arcana quest, but I kind of am interested in completing that commerce one to get a free building. So I'm going to take a cleric here. That's the end there. Okay. Some other people are completing some quests. This one lets him return an agent to his pool, so he gets a free agent out of that. Quest being taken off of there. So it's a little bit, here we can see it's round 3. And now at the start of the round, I get to choose again an adventurer. So I'm going to take another cleric, because now I just need a rogue and a bit of money to complete that walking statue quest. But I'm also going to take a look at what quests might be available and see if there's anything I want to grab. Oh, I got ambushed. Each opponent loses a fighter. Okay, I did have a fighter to lose, but it's not that big a deal. I don't need them at the moment. Are there any quests here I'm looking at? Again, I'm looking for Arcana and Piety quests. So notice this quest that I completed, it will give me 4 bonus points at the end of the game, but it doesn't show right now because that's, again, an end game thing. People don't know that that's my lord as of yet. Arcana and Piety, there's none of that up there. So I'm not too psyched about those ones right now. this Helmstar Warehouse is getting pretty valuable in terms of points, but I don't have the money for it. Here I need 2 rogues and I need money. So I could get money either from here or from up here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to go up here, get it, the money I need, and I'm going to take this commerce quest. It's not the type of quest I really want, but it's fairly easy to complete, and that reward is kind of nice. Put 1 building from the Builder's Hall into your play, into play for no cost. So that, you know, if one of them builds up a bunch of points, that could be worth extra points that way. All right, we're going to complete that turn. Oh, there's an Arcana quest. But it's immediately taken. Okay, somebody played that same intrigue I did. They're digging for a certain kind of quest, and it's taking forever to find it. What did they choose? Arcana. Okay. All right, somebody builds another building. New building comes in. What's the new building here? The Weymouth. When purchased and at start of the round, place 3 points on this. Whenever you go there, score all the points currently on it and take a quest. Okay. Well, there was an Arcana quest that I was interested in, but it's not there anymore. So I think what I want to do is pick up some rogues and then complete this Placate the Walking Statue quest. So let's do this. I'm going to complete this quest here. So 2 clerics, 2 rogues, and 4 gold goes away. I'm going to get 10 points and then get a random building off the stack that's going to go straight into play. Smuggler's Dock. Okay. Very similar to my House of Wonder, actually. Spend 2 gold to get a bunch of stuff, but you're going to get 4 in any combination of fighters and rogues. So that's going to generate me some more money as well. There's no points for that because they only get points if they come from the Builder's Hall, not if they just come straight off the stack. All right, and we're into the next round here, round 4. So next round, we're each going to get an extra agent. So we'll have 3 agents for the final few rounds of the game. I think I'll probably start collecting wizards. I mean, thing is, you know what? I'm kind of, you know what? It's going to be another cleric because I almost have enough to complete this other quest, which is going to let me put a building straight into play. And if I'm lucky, I could put in like a 4-point building. Okay, that's going to generate me some money, which is great because I need money to complete this quest. So I just need a fighter, and then I can complete this Lure Artisans of Mirabar quest. So let's go ahead and go to the Field of Triumph, collect a couple of fighters. We'll complete this quest. It's going to get 4 points. And I'll put this Helmstar Warehouse straight into play just because it's worth 4 points. There is a limit to how many buildings can be built. I forget exactly how many it is, but it's quite a bit. Like this thing can scroll, so it usually hasn't filled up in my experience. Oh, somebody gifted me money again. So you can see like the things are, whoops. Things are kind of flying here. Oh, people keep choosing me to give stuff to, which I appreciate. So to look at my opponents, I'm playing against 3 other players. So here is Erlen Moonblade, which is just the name of the AI opponent. I don't actually know who this lord is. But I can see their tavern, I can see their quests. I can't see their intrigue cards. I can see... Wait, I should be able to see the quests they've completed, right? But I can click up here to look at my other opponents. So you can only see one opponent at a time, which is a little awkward. Oh, okay. So these are their completed... No, these are the quests they're working on. I feel like I should be able to see their completed quests. Anyway, so you can keep an eye on everyone's points. You can keep an eye on their resources. You can keep an eye on their quests. And if you were being like a really serious player, you would definitely be watching that stuff and maybe trying to block spaces that you think they might want and so on. Okay, so what am I doing now? I have only one quest remaining, and it's this wizardy one. So I could just go to the tower to pick up a wizard, or I could go to House of Wonder and pick up 2 wizards, which probably makes more sense. So I'm going to do that. It's going to cost me 2 gold, but it's going to get me 2 wizards. I haven't been lucky in terms of the quests I want appearing up here. Okay, somebody else has chosen the first player, so I'm going to be last in the round now. Okay, somebody just went to my Helmstar warehouse, so I was gifted a rogue. It's round 5, and so now everybody gets 3 agents. All right, I'm going to take another wizard from my Defend the Tower of Luck quest. Okay, these buildings are really paying off here. I'm just getting money all over the place, which is great. Okay, so this intrigue gets everybody a quest. So this intrigue is draw 4 quests from the deck equal to the number of players, and the person who played this intrigue card gets first pick, and then we go clockwise, basically drafting the quests. Well, here's an here's a piety quest and an arcana quest. So those are both ones I'm interested in. This one is worth 8 points, and when I complete it, I get to take a new quest, which is cool. It's just 2 clerics and a fighter. This one is 2 clerics, a rogue, and 2 fighters, a rogue, and 2 wizards. And it gives me 11 points and 4 gold. Now, one thing I want to talk about also is the points at the end of the game come from your quests. They come from your Lord's bonuses. But you're also going to get 1 point for each adventurer in your tavern. And you're going to get 1 point for each 2 gold you have left over. And so when you're evaluating like how good is a quest, you can kind of calculate the difference here. So for example, here, this essentially costs me 3 points to get 8. So I'm netting 5 there, plus the 4 from my lord. So that's not a bad deal. This one is costing me 5 to get 11, 12, 13 in a way. So net 8, plus the bonus from my lord. So this one is like a better deal in terms of raw points, but this one's easier to achieve, and it's going to replace itself with a new quest. Well, I'm already a little bit, and my wizards kind of have something to do already, so I'm going to take this piety quest. Even though the Arcana one would have been good for points, you know, I'm already investing 5 wizards here. I don't really want to have to worry about getting more than that. All right, it's my turn. So what do I need? Well, I need more wizards, but I also need clerics and fighters. Well, this Tower of Luck is looking decent because that's going to give me a cleric, but it's also going to give me 2 rogues, which I don't currently need, but you know, there's quests up here that need rogues. And like I said, every extra adventurer is worth a point at the end of the game anyway. I could also go down and build, like if I really wanted to, I could build this new Olam, which generates, you know, clerics and wizards, but there's only a couple of rounds left and it's only worth 1 point at the moment. So I'm just going to go up here to the Tower of Luck, get a cleric and a couple of rogues. Which did give my opponent their choice of a cleric or a rogue. Oh, Somebody's donated me a rogue. All right. What? Everybody's donating me rogues right now. Oh, I got one from my Helmstar warehouse, right. So that's interesting. I have all these rogues. I mean, there's some quests up here like this. Takes a bunch of rogues. But, like, this is cool if you get it earlier, because every time you play an intrigue card, you'll get a couple of points. But I'm not looking for skullduggery quests, and it's too late in the game for me to be trying to get points off of that. So I'm not interested. All right. So I need one cleric to complete this piety quest. The issue is then there aren't any quests up here that I'm really excited about. Well, should I reshuffle the quests? I'm going to reshuffle the quests. Okay. We've got one piety quest. What's this one? 2 clerics, a fighter and a rogue get 10 points and take a quest. Okay, so it's kind of similar to that one, but it's not terrible. I've got an Arcana one. That one takes rogues and wizards, and it's worth 6 points, but then once per round, you can essentially infiltrate. You can send an agent to a place where somebody already has one, which is cool. By the time I play this, though, there aren't going to be that many rounds left in the game. So just in terms of raw points, this piety one is a better deal, right? I'm spending 4 to get 10. This one I'm spending 5 to get 6. But it's rogues, which I already have, where, you know, I'm going to take this one. Well, there's another piety quest. Ooh. That one might be hard to achieve, though. Okay, there's another Arcana quest, which is interesting to me. My opponents are completing some quests. We can see their points up here. 40 points, 40 points. All right, this is a quest that looks interesting to me. It's Arcana, which is going to give me bonus points. Takes 2 fighters, 2 wizards, 4 gold for 9 points, which is not amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get 9. So, you know, to get 11, essentially 5-point gain, but plus 4 for my bonus. And then it's going to give me clerics. So that's going to help. All right. So what I want to do is complete one of these quests. So I need a cleric. Let's go pick up a cleric. And now I can complete. Let's complete this. Convert a noble to Lathander. So it's going to take 2 clerics and a fighter. It's going to give me 8 points. And then I get to take a quest from Cliffwatch Inn. So I'll take this quest I was just talking about. That's the end of my turn. Round 6. All right. I get to choose a new... I'm going to take a wizard here. People are feeding me money. Here's a new quest that takes rogues. Rogues and money, reward 8 points, and then whenever you complete a skullduggery quest, score 2 points. That's nice if you get it early. It's a little bit late for me to be worrying about that, I think. Here's another Arcana quest. 1 cleric, 2 wizards, which generates 8 points, a fighter, and 2 gold. That's not bad. Because again, for me, that's actually like 12 points. All right, what can I do next? Well, I think what I want to try to do is complete this one because that's going to generate the clerics that'll let me complete that one. So I just need 2 fighters for that. So let's do that. Let's complete host festival for soon. Go on, fighters, wizards. Here's some money. Go host a festival in my name. Get the points and I get the clerics. And that's the end of my turn. Oh, I just got an achievement. Complete all 12 Arcana quests in the base game. All right. I don't know why people are always choosing me when they're giving stuff out, but I'll take it. All right, back to me, and I'm just missing 1 fighter to complete this quest now, so that's pretty good. But problem is the fighter spot is full, so that's not available to me. All right, is there any quest I want to pick up? Well, this would have been great to get earlier. Protect the House of Wonder. Whenever you complete a piety quest, score an extra 2 points. Is it worth me getting? It might still. What's this Arcana one? Fighter and wizards and money. 6 points. Whenever you take an action that provides any wizards, also draw an intrigue. Earlier, that would have been cool. It's a bit late now. Well, you know what? The House of Wonder is open. I still do need a bunch of wizards. So I think I'm just going to go there and pick some of those up. So many rogues. I mean, like I said, each one is 1 point at the end of the game. So even if I don't use them, it's not the worst. All right. So I still can't get fighters for this piety quest. I could go and get a wizard though, and just complete this Arcana quest right now, which is not the worst. Alternatively, I could go pick up, what's this piety quest? Produce a miracle for the masses. 2 clerics, 4 gold, get 5 points. Once per round, whenever you take an action that provides any clerics, you can also convert one of your other guys into a cleric. I mean, that would have been cool earlier. Again, all these rogues, I could be, you know, baptizing them or whatever. I guess that's not how you make a cleric, but you know what I mean. So, do I go grab this piety? Can I complete that and that one in the next couple rounds? Maybe. Maybe I can. Alternatively, you know, I could go to Builder's Hall, build this golden horn, which is just like 4 points for 4 gold, which is essentially net 2 points. It's not amazing because every 2 gold is worth 1 at the end of the game. And it's another gold generating space. I'm not super psyched about that. So you know what I'm going to do? Yeah, I'm just going to go grab my wizard here. Let's just get this done. That's also going to, it's just going to get me my points right now. It's in the bank. I don't have to worry about it anymore. And like I said, you can complete 1 quest per turn. So it's, you know, if you can complete a quest on your turn, it's often a good idea to do it. Round 7, second last round of the game. What do I want now? Do I want another cleric? I think I'm going to take another cleric here. Because I might still take this piety quest. We'll see. Okay, buildings getting built all over the place. This House of the Moon is worth 4 points for 3 gold. That's a pretty good deal, but the Builder's Hall is full. I do still have this intrigue that I could stick somebody with. But I don't know if it's worth delaying my action right now. I'm going to need another quest. I think I'm just going to go up and take this piety quest. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the intrigue card option because maybe that'll give me something else to use that could be a benefit. Oh, that's perfect. So that intrigue is going to generate fighters for me, which is exactly what I need. Okay, that worked out great. And the fighter space got taken, so I'm lucky that that's the intrigue that I got. Oh, clerics are, lack of faith, clerics are walking away. Okay, so I lost a couple clerics. I mean, I lost a cleric, which is not great, but we'll see how that works out. So a couple new spaces on the board here. Somebody built Northgate, which choose, one of any kind of adventurer and get a couple of gold. Okay, I want to go to Waterdeep Harbor, but I definitely am going to need clerics now. So I think I might go to House of Wonder to make sure I have the clerics I'm going to need for both of these, because that math just kind of wrecked me a little bit. Do I do that, or do I go for the one that gives me 1 cleric and 2 rogues? That might be better. Yeah, I'm going to go for that one. I think because I can generate 1 cleric at the start of next round, which should be good enough. So this one is just more efficient because this one cost me 2 gold for 2 things. So it's like net 0 points if I just look at the value there, whereas this one is net 3 points. Or I guess this is net 1. 2 gold is worth 1 point. Each unit is worth 1 point. Each adventurer. Once again, I'm getting rogues from my buildings here. So those buildings that I built early on have really paid off. I've generated a bunch of gold and a bunch of rogues from those things. So you can see the value of buildings there. All right, over to me. And now it's time for me to play that intrigue that I drew when I went up here. Request assistance. Take 2 fighters from the supply and place them in your tavern. Each opponent can choose to give you a fighter to score 3 points. We'll see if anybody chooses to give me any fighters here. No. Yes. No. Okay. So which one do I want to complete? Well, this one's worth more points, but the point of this one was that it's going to increase the value of my next one. So we'll do this one first. $69 points, very nice. Getting some more money. All right, it's the end of the round here, so my agent that I had on Waterdeep Harbor now gets to go somewhere else. What do I want? None of these quests are... Maybe I respin the quests again and see if I can find something, because I'm going to need something else on top of this one. I could just grab a wizard. I could go to Castle Waterdeep, so I go first next round. And get an intrigue card. Let's respin the quest. Let's see what we can find. Okay, here's a piety quest. I don't know if I'm going to be able to manage the resources here, but it's a decent payoff. And I mean, the skullduggery one, I have the rogues. I might not end up with the money for it, but it'd be pretty easy to get that money. worth 8 points and 2 intrigues. The problem is I probably won't have time to play those intrigues at this last round of the game. It may or may not help me. So in terms of points, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points for 8. It's not really worth my time. I think I'm gonna take this one and maybe I can pull it off, maybe I can't. Here's another piety one. Generates a bunch of fighters. Okay, we'll see about that. Anyway, we'll see what happens. All right. Round 8, final round of the game. So we're just going to try to complete as many quests as we can here. I'm going to need a cleric. Smuggler's Dock, paying me some money. Helmstar Warehouse, paying me a rogue. Okay. I have the resources needed to complete either of these quests right now. Keeping in mind, piety quests are worth a bonus 6 points because it's 4 from this and then 2 from where is it? This. So can I complete both of these? Maybe it's gonna be tricky. Is there a quest I could get up here that I could do instead? I mean, this one I probably could. All right. Well, what am I going to need? I'm going to need extra fighters, extra clerics. Okay, extra clerics. So let's go ahead and get the 2 clerics from here. So we're going to pay gold. We're going to take 2 clerics. And I can complete one of these right now. Can I make that work? I don't think I'm going to be able to get 4 more clerics this round. And none of these quests are super amazing. So I'll just complete this one because this is the better deal. Bunch of points. The fighter spot got taken. So I might have a hard time completing this last piety quest now. I do control like 3 buildings, I think. But the fighters are an issue. Where can I get fighters right now? All of these spots are pretty full. No fighters available. So this, unfortunately, this spot is like dead. I mean, the only quest I could complete is this Skullduggery one, which kind of sucks. But it is a couple of points, and who knows, maybe I get an intrigue card that helps me somehow. So I think my move is just go and take that, maybe an intrigue card and that. Alternatively, you know what? I think I just build. House of the Moon here is 5 points for 3. So let's do that. Oh, I'm going to get a new quest here. It's another bidding war. Let's see if there's anything I can actually do. They both require fighters. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. I have this final intrigue card. Maybe I try to use it on somebody. There's one player that has an agent on Waterdeep Harbor, so they might have one more quest they're trying to complete. Who is that? It's hard to tell the colors. I also could just be gifting them points. Cleric, rogue, fighter. Yeah, I don't think I care about that. No way I can get a fighter for myself. So both of these quests are toast. I guess I just get this Skullduggery one. And I'll just take money because it's an extra point. Oh, this would have been so great for me early. It's the kind of thing you really want to get early as this type of lord, but you know, you just can't all the time. All right, so I'm going to complete this quest I just got. Procure some stolen goods. I don't mind if I do. Gonna get a couple intrigue cards, but I'm not gonna have a chance to play them, so they don't matter. That's the end of my round. That's the end of the game, and now we're gonna calculate the points. So here's me. These are the points I'm getting from my leftover adventurers, 1 for each one. Here's the points I'm getting from my leftover gold, 1 point for every 2 gold. Now my lord is revealed. That's how many quests I completed, worth 4 points each. My final score, 129. Points for adventurers, points for gold, and okay, this person was getting points for green and black quests, commerce, and skullduggery. Adventurers, money, and okay, not enough there. This person was going after skullduggery and arcana. Points for money. Piety and warfare for this guy. And that's it. So we calculated all the points, and I am the winner. And then we can go over here and see a breakdown of where all those points came from. So I had, 9 quests completed. Those are the points there. Money, adventurers, and my special Lord power. There's everybody's breakdown. So there you go. That is a game of Lords of Waterdeep. So not, a super complex game, but I think a really nice game. I really enjoy it. I picked it up on the board game sale, and I've played it a lot just against the AI. So in the next section here, I'm going to go through the expansions for the game. There's, in the physical game, there's one expansion. There's one box that you buy, and it comes with 2 kind of separate expansion modules. You can play individually or together. And in the digital game, each of those modules is sold as a separate kind of small DLC. So I'll go through those and show you how they work. I'm not going to play through full games, but I'll just introduce you to kind of the extra stuff they add to the game so you know what's going on in there. All right, here we are with the Undermountain expansion module added in. And what you're going to notice first is there's this extra area over here in the bottom left, the Undermountain. So this is an area underneath the city of Waterdeep where there's extra crazy stuff going on. And it just adds 3 extra spaces to the game immediately. So let's take a look at them. The Hall of Mirrors is a space where it's a very flexible way to get adventurers. You can get a fighter and a rogue, or one adventurer of your choice. So basically it's one wizard or one cleric or a fighter and a rogue. Very nice flexibility there. We've got the Grim Statue, which is a place you can go to just draw 2 intrigue. So previously, you get 1 intrigue from Cliffwatch Inn or 1 from Castle Waterdeep. Those are still there, but now you have a place to get 2 intrigues if you want, and that's all it does. And then the Entry Well is another spot where you can play intrigues, and you also choose a quest from the Cliffwatch Inn. So before, if you wanted to play an intrigue, you had to go to Waterdeep Harbor. Well, now the Entry Well is an extra spot you can go to play an intrigue, which gets you a quest at the same time. Now, keep in mind that when you go here, you're not going to get that agent back at the end of the round, right? Waterdeep Harbor is cool because you send your agent there, play an intrigue, and then at the end of the round, you get that agent back to send somewhere else. That's not true of the Entry Well. So that's the main addition from Undermountain. But then there's a whole bunch of new, there's new buildings. Like this is a new Undermountain building, which you can see from this icon. Play 3 intrigue cards when you go here. So you can see how that kind of fits given you have a spot where you draw 2. There are new intrigue cards. Here's a new one from Undermountain. There are a few new lords, and there's a bunch of new quests as well. So basically it just is going to add a bunch of new variety into the game. Here's a new quest from Undermountain, which is cool. So you get to see more different things every game. But then these extra spots also are a big deal. Now, depending on your preferences in a worker placement game, you might like that or you might dislike that. So it's more open. You're more likely to be able to go somewhere that does something that you like, which some people will enjoy. But on the other hand, some people won't enjoy that, because one of the cool things about worker placement games is that sense of tightness, that sense of tension. Will I get the spot that I want? Will I be able to get that resource that I need, or will someone stop me from getting it? Can I afford to go to Waterdeep Harbor now and risk not having anywhere useful to go later? Well, when there's more good spots on the board, it's easier to go to Waterdeep Harbor, as you can see my AI compatriot has already done. So that's basically what Undermountain adds to the game. And here we are with the Skullport expansion module added by itself. Without the Undermountain, you can play both together or you can play them individually. So Skullport is an extra secret, sketchy, shady area below Waterdeep. And it also adds extra spaces onto the board. So let's take a look at these. Let's start with Slaver's Market. Holy crap. You get 2 fighters and 2 rogues from this space, but you also get 1 corruption. So all of these spots are going to corrupt you when you visit them, because that's just how, shady and sort of evil Skullport is. Okay, so what is corruption? Well, corruption is an extra thing that's going to show in your tavern up here. So in addition to your gold and your adventurers, you're going to also have a certain number of corruption tokens. Of course, everyone starts with 0. And corruption is essentially negative victory points. At the end of the game, you're going to lose points for every corruption token you have. And so that's why this is so seemingly good. It's like, yes, I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff, which is going to help me complete more quests to get points, but it's going to cost me points at the end of the game from this corruption. How many points? Well, that's kind of the interesting thing about corruption, is it depends on how corrupt everyone is. So up here, you can see the corruption track. Essentially what happens is whenever you gain corruption, you're going to take it off of this track. So all of these little skulls that you see on these spaces, these are little corruption tokens. And so if I go to Slaver's Market, I'm going to take this corruption token off of this spot, and it's going to go here. At the end of the game, each corruption token is worth negative points equal to whichever one is the most recent spot that is that has any skulls on it. So at the moment, every corruption token is worth minus 1 point. But as soon as that first one comes off the board, then each one is going to be worth -2. If all of these corruption tokens get picked up, they're all going to be worth -3, and so on. So the more corruption that comes off the track, the worse each corruption token is for you at the end of the game. And so Skullport basically just adds this whole new dynamic you've got to think about, which is is it worth it for me to take on corruption to get a whole bunch of resources? Like Skull Island here gives you 2 adventurers of your choice. You get 2 wizards, you get 2 clerics, you get a cleric and a wizard, whatever you happen to need, which is obviously powerful, but it corrupts you. Hall of the Voice. You get an intrigue card, you get to take a quest, you get 5 gold, that's what this little moon thing is, but you get a corruption. Now, there are ways, first of all, to give your opponents corruption, but there are also ways to get rid of corruption. Now, there's nothing here that does that, but some of the buildings that are added in Skullport, there's like a building that's just when you visit it, put one of your corruptions back on the track. Sometimes the corruption gets put back on the track. Sometimes it just gets removed from the game. And that's obviously different because that affects, how bad the corruption is. Putting a corruption back on the track usually makes the rest of the corruption not so bad. But if you remove it from the game, then it can't be, that corruption can't be reduced all the way again. There are intrigue cards that can get rid of corruption. There are certain quests that when you complete them will get rid of corruption. And so, depending on what shows up, it might change how willing you are to take on corruption. In addition to all that, there are new quests. Here's a new Skullport quest. There are new intrigue cards. I don't have any right now. There are new buildings, and there are, I think, 3 new lords. I think each module adds 3 new lords into the game. So that's Skullport. And just so you can see it, here's the game with both expansion modules active at the same time. So we have the Undermountain and Skullport. And so there are 6 extra spots added to the game at the beginning, which is a little crazy. And so what the game tells you is if you use both expansions at the same time, then you play what's called a long game, which means everyone starts with 3 agents instead of 2. And then when you get to round 5, everyone's going to get a 4th agent. And it's kind of needed, I think, because otherwise it's just the game is way too open, which kind of, I think, destroys the vibe of a worker placement game. You can play that long game mode without the expansions if you want to, but the game says you have to do it if you're playing with both. In digital game, you don't have a choice. Physically, I guess you can do whatever you want. So that's everything all in. It's quite a different game this way. And, everyone's going to have their own preferences as to whether they prefer playing just the original game or with the Undermountain or with Skullport or with both. Of course, physically, you could kind of mix and match however you wanted. So you might say, I don't want to use the Undermountain board, but I want to use the extra quests and intrigues and so on from it. Digitally, you don't have that kind of granularity, unfortunately. But that is it. So, hey, this was Lords of Waterdeep. I think it's a really nice game, and you can see the influence that this game has had on subsequent worker placement games like Dune Imperium, for example, even just in the terminology. You're sending agents, you have intrigue cards. The way Waterdeep Harbor works is, in a way, almost Mentat-ish. Anyway, enough about Dune Imperium. But thank you so much for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions about this. Let me know if you've played this game, what you think of it. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/bludgeon. Mainly on this channel, I play Dune Imperium, and you can watch me stream it live every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. You can also join the Discord, link is in the description below, and chat with me, chat with other board game fans, try to set up games if you want, and find out news about the channel, about the games that we like, and when the next stream is happening. And of course, check out all of my other digital board game content. I've got how to play videos for Everdell, for Arc Nova, for Clank, for Dune Imperium, Spirit Island, Wingspan. It's all there for you. Take a look. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.